Lang is here.
Hi, Jen.
Jen said hello in the chat, Charlotte.
We had breakfast on Saturday together, actually. So hello.
Oh, nice. Well, I'll let people talk towards the end.
That's good.
Uh, hey, Andrew. Good to see you. Hi, Jeffrey. Oh, it'd be nice if you guys could put in the chat maybe where you're calling in from, like location wise or company wise or both, whatever you feel comfortable sharing would be great. Hi, Lisa. Welcome. We're just going to give it a minute here. Okay. Oh, we've got a awesome. Oh, my Chicago friend is here. Andrew, glad you made it. And yes, Jen, thanks for the shout out. She is an Epsona super fan. Thanks, Chuck. All right. Well, yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and get started. So, welcome everyone. We're so glad to have you. We're very fortunate to have Charlotte Kennedy of Novant Health Foundations, one of our Apsona super fans, with us. And today she's going to talk about simplifying document creation with Epsona Mail Merge. So just a little bit about Epsona. Epsona has been it was founded in May of 2009, and we've been on the App Exchange since 2011. Sona in Hindi means golden, so we're known as the Golden App. We have over 1,700 customers with 10,000 users. We have about 250 plus App Exchange reviews with an average rating of 4.89. And we can work with any data model, sales service, industry clouds, NPSP, EDA, AFQ. Here's a sampling of our customers. Go ahead. And so we're going to turn it over to Charlotte and let her introduce herself and talk about what she uses Epsona for at Novant. Charlotte, take it away.
Absolutely. Thank you, Rob, and the
Mhm.
Apsona team for having me today. I'm very excited to be here. I am going to go ahead and share my screen. 1 second. Put it on slideshow though, so it looks a little cleaner for you guys. Can we see my screen, Rob? Awesome. Okay. So let me jump to where we left off. So a little bit more about myself. Apsona Superfan. I'm a CRM manager for Novant Health Foundations. Find me on LinkedIn. Feel free to connect with me there. Send me a message and say that you're on the call, and I'll be happy to connect, talk further around how we use Apsona in, or just, if you're interested in stuff I'm interested in or not, and we can get to know each other. I've been in the Salesforce ecosystem for a little over 2 years now. Along with being in the ecosystem, I am pursuing my MBA at Wake Forest. I'm pretty excited within a year of graduation, so that's awesome. In my limited free time, I enjoy yoga, traveling, cross stitch, and of course the Ohana. So it's a little bit more about myself and my dog. Love my dog. So Novant Health Foundation. So the foundations our mission is to engage and connect donors to programs and initiatives that save and improve lives of the communities we serve. So with the example that we're going to use today, I am going to try to kind of provide you guys a link or two, or just kind of explain a couple of my favorite programs that we do. Considerations. So you've heard Rob and myself say Novant Health Foundations. My bio had foundation, some have S, some don't. And that's really part of the first consideration. So we're 6 different tax entities within one Salesforce instance. So just with healthcare and mergers and acquisitions of community hospitals or other systems, you know, we end up becoming one kind of overarching foundation with really 6 different tax entities. So that's kind of one consideration that we have within our org today. Another consideration is each of those markets kind of has a central leader, or we call them chief philanthropy officers. And so because of that, most of the time they do have a little bit slight preferences just because we are spread across North Carolina and our communities look very different across the state. So we do try to be pretty structured in terms of you know, content going out, but there are some just community preferences that we want to allow that leader to have the autonomy to make those adjustments for. So along with that, because there's different leaders, we have to have a way to be able to kind of automate some of those signature blocks, and Apsona allows us to do that with the partnership of custom metadata within Salesforce. And I know that we'll be sending out links because I know custom metadata is kind of this like questionable term. Rob actually said that it is kind of data describing data. So I loved kind of that use of that, and we'll look into that in a little bit too. The third consideration is really like our overview of what we're going to be doing within Apsona today. And that's just a confirmation of someone's pledge commitment. And we also want this letter to include the schedule of payments that they committed to. And as a lot of you I'm sure know, templates, mail merge, Word doc templates can be overwhelming, and there can just be a plethora / mushrooms just, you know, after 3 years, you're like, why do I have 50 templates? So we'll kind of talk through how Apsona can help you solve for that too. So our first scenario, so kind of teed it up a little bit earlier. So this pledge commitment letter. So we'll also set the stage. I have been watching Suits recently. I'll confess, I'm like season 7 now. When I first started this, I was season 3 maybe. So I won't provide any spoilers to anyone, but keep watching. So really setting the stage. So RMCF is really our Rowan Medical Center Foundation. They've received 2 pledge commitments. Again, Suits related, so you'll see those characters kind of in our sandbox to benefit the Bridges to Healthcare program at the foundations. So again, there's a link to the Bridges to Healthcare program. This is one of my favorite health equity programs that we have. It is for high school students. It's a paid internship for summer, fall, spring, and they kind of get a rotation within Novant of different different departments. So like radiology, pharmacy, I believe like clinics, and yeah, just kind of a variety of what you could do in healthcare to see, you know, kind of build that pipeline of healthcare workers. So the need for this specific situation is that we just need to acknowledge these 2 pledge commitments. And our teammates want to provide their donors an overview of their commitment and also the scheduled installments. So again, that we'll kind of dig into where that is in Salesforce, as well as the Word template, and then also just kind of Apsona itself. So previous to us having this is a lot of manual work. It's repetitive actions and lack of clarity really among teams of who's responsible. So like I said, we have kind of 6 different we call them market foundations, and then we have a centralized operations team and a couple other kind of more centralized teams. So by using Apsona, this really provides more clarity to our team in terms of who's responsible for producing this document, and then kind of that handoff to the delivery, the more personalized delivery. And then as well as a single mail merge within Apsona, and we also end up tracking this within Salesforce too. Ooh. Got ahead. Hopefully you guys didn't see too much. Don't want to spoil it. Okay. So kind of first wanted to jump into the mail merge document. And I'll go ahead and try to make this bigger for you guys. I know I'm on a larger monitor.
We cannot see it.
Oh, you can? Okay.
No, we cannot.
Thank you, Rob.
Sure. There we go. Now we can see it.
Okay. So yes, so this is my mail merge document. If you have done a Word document mail merge before, this is going to look pretty say standard to you, with kind of these two brackets being those merge fields. So one of the things I wanted to point out was kind of this just custom date field. So anytime I run this letter through Apsona, it's going to update to the most or like today's date. And so that's just a feature kind of within Word. And then another thing that I really wanted to point out was this full market name and this, I always call it like the federal tax number, but EIN. So kind of these two fields are really interesting for us, kind of ties back to 6 different markets. So in our case, we're just looking at the Rowan market. So both of these pledges, these gifts will be from that Rowan Medical Center Foundation. But if we pulled a letter with multiple different markets, they would change depending on that specific market that the gift is made to. And we'll take questions at the end, so I'm happy to unpack that because I've been living it for 2.5 to 4 years in different roles. So happy to explain more about that later too. And then this kind of second part, you'll see table start, table end. So that's a really nice feature, and this is actually going to be a sub list or payments report within Apsona that we're going to pull from. So you know, when we're looking at this sort of template, what I like to really do is think through, okay, where is this data coming from? I know that like pretty much the language is going to stay the same, but all my merge fields are going to be a little bit different. But where do those merge fields come from? So this scheduled payment state installment, this table is, like I said a little bit earlier, is coming from the payments area within Salesforce. And then this pledge amount and GAU friendly, that's actually a roll up on our opportunity. And then kind of like what we were talking about earlier, this custom metadata. So we have opportunity, we have payment, and then these readings and kind of header areas more from that account. So with Apsona, we can have things from multiple related objects being pulled onto one document. Rob, did you want to mention anything about Word?
Yes, you can actually, to help you, you can actually create a shortcut in Word to enter your merge documentation, and I will find the documentation and stick it in the chat for you.
I think I might have done that here.
Did you? Yes. So this is a shortcut to enter your to easily enter your merge fields into your Word document, making life a lot easier. Was it hard to set up, Charlotte?
No, not at all. I think you could just right click maybe and go to ribbon, but yes. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and jump into Salesforce and Apsona. So that's kind of the beauty of Apsona, is that you don't have to log into a different database. So Rob, am I good? Do you see Pearson Harding?
You can, yep, we can see it. Thank you. Sorry.
No, you're totally fine. Okay, so just wanted to kind of show this opportunity real quick. So actually, I changed some things. I didn't refresh the name, so I'm going to refresh the name real quick. Okay. It always goes slower when you screen share. So opportunity, and so just kind of wanted to show this $250,000. That's going to be that pledged amount that was on our template. So this is that opportunity information. You'll also see like we have the primary campaign source filled out. We don't have that in our template, but you could merge any of these fields onto that template. And then also wanted to kind of show one kind of that account name information. So if I go up to here, I'll find all those kind of informal greetings and addresses on this. So I think when I use Apsona specifically, if I'm looking at a page layout, and I've told other people that use Apsona on our team as well, anytime you see a blue link on the page layout, that means you can get to it from Apsona. So sometimes it's nice to have a visual as well, but that's kind of Charlotte's tip of the day. Anytime you see blue, you can work your way through it. So the last thing I wanted to point out was that payment information with that table kind of at the bottom of our mail merge template. So you'll see here just by, can you guys see the hovering area? Yes. Okay, perfect. So you'll see these first or the 5 payments. So they decided to pay this out over 5 years, $50,000 each year. So you'll see those scheduled dates, but more importantly for our purposes for this letter, you'll see paid. So sometimes if somebody commits $250,000, they might wire or write a check, more so we see wires of that first payment kind of within like a day or two of that signed kind of document, or kind of comes around right around the same time. So depending, we wanted to make sure this template could allow that donor that kind of understanding that, yes, okay, that did get received. Yes, we'd send a tax acknowledgement, which would be a different letter. But sometimes it's nice to kind of see a summary view of, you know, what have I already paid and what has the organization already received versus what do I kind of need a plan to pay at a certain point in time that they already agreed upon, but sometimes it's nice to just get that one pager, that clean outline. Okay, so I'm gonna jump into Apsona now. So within Epsona, I actually added a lot of the things that were important for this purpose, for this activity. But one of the things that I love about it is with document merge, it's super easy to manage your documents and not get overwhelmed with templates, hopefully. Depends. One, of course, best practice is naming conventions. I still struggle with this. We're working on it, getting better. So the thing about Apsona, it makes kind of uploading these documents really easy. So if I wanted to upload a new one, I can click upload. If I wanted to kind of manage these and I knew that all my most recent merge actions were up to date and on the latest template, then I could just check that box and then delete the checked, and voila, I have a, you know, one less document in my hypothetically chaotic document library. So for this instance, I did want to show you guys kind of that table again. So with payments, this is where the data will be coming from. And so I'm just going to edit this real quick. And so you'll see that most of this is coming from the payment. And then there is a calc payment status field. Apsona has really good documentation on JavaScript, but for our template, I didn't want a checkbox, like a checkbox on it. I really wanted something a little, in my opinion, like friendlier to the donor, received or planned. So I didn't really even want like paid, and that's just kind of Novant language preferences too. But yes, JavaScript can be overwhelming, but Apsona really does make it simple, and they provide some really good options and examples that you can kind of tweak for your needs. So did want to kind of showcase that because I think that's a really awesome feature that you can do within Apsona too. So if we ran this, we'll see. So again, we have those 2 pledges. And so if I just clicked on that header, it just automatically kind of sorted it. So we'll see each Harvey and Robert and Laura both kind of committed over 5 years, just different amounts. So only one of these is paid. So again, we'll see this opportunity ID, and because it's all the same opportunity, just kind of keep that in mind when we go over to the opportunities report. Okay, so I have a lot more kind of information from Apsona on the opportunity side. But I would want to just call out that, you know, as we're talking through the Word document, the payments, that table is coming from that other report. However, with opportunities, I am pulling in the account information, like we talked about, the billing street, the billing city, the state, the zip, onto this exact, like the same report. So you'll kind of see on this right-hand side, this far right-hand side is where that address block will come from. And then this middle part, you'll see kind of Roanne. I threw in Meghan Markle. I used her real name. So, oh well. But yeah, so that's kind of like a fun, just, and this is again, custom metadata. So if we have time, I'm happy to show kind of where that is as well. But all really these three lines is data describing the market. So really kind of almost hidden behind RMC is kind of these three fields in a way. So if I had Thomasville Medical Center, you know, it could have somebody else. Let's say Missy. My dog's name is Missy. And then kind of the different, like whoever the signature block needs to be, and then the full market name, Thomasville Medical Center. So I do want to kind of hop in. I feel like we've gone over a good amount of this. So for the mail merge, it's super easy to kind of set up. So you'll see if I hadn't had one already set up, I could create a new one and select the type of merge that I do. So once we kind of create that initial one, then we can actually run an existing merge, and I can even edit it beforehand. I did want to point out before I did that, just this test mode, ignore all logging settings. I haven't created any logging settings because I wanted to do that with you guys. But that is super nice when you are testing it, because then you can like literally just not have any of the fields change. And you'll see why that kind of matters. Okay, so if we click edit, again, we'll see the templates to use. So if you have like 50,000 templates, it might be a little chaotic, but since we cleaned that up earlier, we have the template that we want. The output structure, we always prefer page breaks because we do pull these by our markets. So if somebody, will say, batches in 20 gifts, like different checks that came through the mail, whatever it is, then we can pull kind of a group of those tax acknowledgements. So we always prefer the single file so that somebody can just print it off or manipulate it in Word and then print it off for signatures.
Do you mind if I jump in for a second?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I also just wanted to point out that you do have the ability, Charlotte's using the single with the page breaks, but you have the ability to do a single file with paragraph breaks, or you can store on each individual record, and they just choose not to. And then, Charlotte, I don't think you use the conditional templates, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, so I just want to talk about this for 1 second. If you have a field, let's just say it's on the opportunity, and when it's X, let's say it's $500,000, you get this template. If it's $200,000, you get this template. So this portion on the side gives you the ability to customize your templates. There are two ways to do this. Charlotte does it the other way, I believe, within her template, but you have the ability to choose several different templates. And then the last thing I just wanted to point out, you could do this with Word, or you could also do this with Google Docs. And I just wanted to make sure you saw that. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, it's good. So I'm gonna go ahead and press next, and this is where you're gonna see all of the fields that are merged. Kind of helpful, we'll do a second Charlotte's tip of the day is whatever you name your merge fields, name your columns that in Epsona, or just name them whatever that field kind of normally is. So I try my best to do that. Again, that EIN is just, it's always the one that I don't change, but just kind of a preference thing as well. But I did want to also, you'll see this kind of record group payments. So this is where that sub list or that table in the merge doc of all of the payments will be seen. So if you kind of click on that data source, it shows you various reports. Again, I only have kind of that one report, as well as just different objects. So specifically for this payment, I did already have that report that we looked at earlier. And then it provides the 3 merge fields within the document that are within the table start and table start PMT's payments, and then table. So that's where it's knowing the template is, Epsona is knowing where those fields are coming from. Something that I find helpful that I probably had to Google like 20 times or just check myself on, is the sort. So the way that I wanted that template to look was that the most recent gift, the most recent payment is going to be at the top. So I want like the farthest out to be at the end, just because, again, my brain kind of works like that. I think most people's do in terms of like a payment cycle. So that's just kind of good to know, because Apsona allows you to sort, and I sorted it by the scheduled date and ascending, descending. It's just, so it's like drilled in my brain now. So I'm glad that happened. And then the other second important thing is, again, kind of that blue. If you see blue on the page layout, you know, you can kind of link to it. So in this case, from the payment, you can see like whatever opportunity it's related to typically, if you have it on the page layout. So that is that opportunity ID matches the payment opportunity. So the opportunity ID is that the opportunity case safe ID on the report object, which is the opportunities we're currently on, and that matches the payment opportunity. So when we pulled that the payment report, you saw like Harvey and Robert and Laura both had 5 payments, and that opportunity kind of was shown because there's 5 different payment dates. But just to kind of point out that all 5 of those they know, like the system knows that it goes with that one opportunity. So just an important thing to. So I kind of talked about logging options, and logging options is an awesome feature. So Apsona sorts it by the field type. So for my case, it's the acknowledgement status field that I want to update. And that is a pick list field. And so you'll see it kind of has all the different fields. And again, like we're seeing account fields, we're seeing opportunity fields. And so that means that any of those can be updated. So just kind of keep that in mind as well. The one I'm going to update for our business practices is this acknowledgement status. And then it shows you what pick list value you can update it to. So in our case, the report's actually filtering out acknowledge, do not acknowledge, grants acknowledge, or pledge acknowledge. So I'm going to update it to pledge acknowledge because the person hasn't completely paid off their pledge, but they did get a pledge acknowledgement. Instead of doing that specifically, you could just create a task and like have it related to a task subject, etc. So those are just options that, you know, we might end up switching to, but again, it just kind of depends on your needs. And then we don't use the email option, again, because of some of those considerations I mentioned earlier, but this is an option for your use. So you don't have as much manual, you know, multiple people kind of reviewing it, mailing it out, etc. And then this goes back to the save action as, goes back to naming conventions. So just make sure you're really clean with your naming conventions so that if you win the lottery and somebody takes over for whatever you're doing, they can kind of cleanly walk through what you're trying to do. So I'm going to go ahead and save and run this. Let's reshare.
We don't see it yet.
You see it now?
There it is.
Okay. So you'll see my template did pretty well here. The Novant Health, Novant Health Road Medical Customer Foundation, the EIN number, and then this is like really my favorite part. Like, I think that's great. I just think it looks great. So, again, more about preference, and I'm missing something grammatically here, so it is what it is. But again, just kind of keep that in mind. And then I did want to just show one last thing, and that would be just back in our.
We still see the template. There we go. Now we see Epsona. There you go.
So if I went back to this opportunity, I've not refreshed the page, but when I refresh this should have logged that pledge acknowledged. So now when I go back and run this report, both of these should fall off because I ran that template, I have the documents. And I don't have to re-pull this letter. So, and that's really just based, I'll show you kind of what it is. So I'm filtering out that acknowledgement status. And so if there is one that's pledged acknowledged, it's going to filter it out. So I always recommend, like, if you're going to log something, you can also use that as your filter term. So I think that's kind of all I had for the walkthrough. I know that was like really in detail. So I hope if there's any beginners out there that was helpful. If there's any Apsona superstars, maybe you found a little nugget of something you can kind of take and use for your group. So let's see. So yeah, so kind of the overall of, how does this impact like my organization statement. So there's 70 plus pledges in the past 21 months. So, across the foundations, 70 times where this template could have been used. And I'll be honest, we haven't used it yet. So kind of use this as a way to really push, like, this would be very helpful to have, because it would provide more clarity, and people have already kind of reviewed it and been like, this looks great. We're really excited to have this. So that's kind of one aspect of it. Another one is stronger stewardship and just process. So again, it kind of provides that clarity, not just to our donors, but also to our internal team members, so that they feel confident. Okay, like once, once this happens, I'll immediately get this kind of standard template, and they can add in, again, because it's a Word document, they can add in more language or print it out and like write a handwritten note or deliver it in person. Is just, I don't know. When I was first doing this, I just thought like it'd be nice to hang on your fridge, but that's just a me thing. Just to kind of be reminded of your commitment and your impact to your communities. So this last one, just a quantitative 1 hour reduced to 5 minutes. I mean, yes, we took probably 25 minutes to walk through that. But once that template is set up, I mean, you're really just kind of auditing, making sure the data came across correctly, it was entered in correctly, and then pulling that report. And again, kind of just making sure that things came over accordingly. That's kind of the three kind of outside. And then the one that's the most important is delighting our donors. So, we hope that, again, this is a good stewardship piece for them. And we'll go from there.
That was awesome. Thank you. All right. So everyone, I didn't see a lot of questions in the chat or the Q&A. I'm wondering what questions folks have. Does anybody have any questions? Jen. Okay, let me just get you up here, Jen. Sorry. Okay, go ahead and talk.
Hey, thanks for having me today. Charlotte, great demo. Really appreciate seeing things, your use case, because it's making me think of a few things. At one point you showed us when the market is RMC, it pulls in specific information. Is that custom metadata? Is that formula fields on the donation? Tell me how you got that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I believe we do, I think it is kind of actually like fields on the opportunity that's referencing the custom metadata. So that's a great kind of clarification.
Oh, okay.
So it was a combo, Jen.
Yeah.
Okay, I was wondering if you got custom metadata into Apsona and how you made that work. So that makes sense. Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely. Great question.
And it's kind of,
go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say, it's kind of funny. We just had that exact issue when we had staff change, and we've got to redo all of our templates now for the new person. If I had just programmed the custom metadata types, we wouldn't have to do that. So thank you.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. I totally understand that. That was, yes, that's a helpful thing.
Thanks.
Okay, Andrew, you had a question?
Yeah, I was just wondering just how many objects can you pull into a single document?
So Charlotte, you want to tell how your org uses it, and then I can answer the other question?
Yeah, oof. I mean, I think we used 3 in this case. I think we have maybe 4 or 5 in others. I could definitely see how if you have like kind of orders or products that you're selling, how you would really want to have a couple different or like several different objects being able to, but I'm probably not sure like the exact number.
So Andrew, the Apsona technical answer, if you will, and I'm not very technical, so keep that in mind. I'm more of a BA, but you can use our single step reporting or our multi-step reporting in conjunction with your document and email merge. And you can, with our multi-step reporting, the barriers are taken away and infinite numbers of opportunities. And Charlotte, don't you guys do a multi-step report merge, I think?
Yeah,
And so, yeah.
that's something kind of on the list as well. So we probably have just an Apsona, like if a gift batch comes in of 20 different gifts, and like 2 of them are from donor advised funds, 2 of them are just checks in the mail, 3 of them are sponsorships that have benefits. All 3 of those right now are different templates within Apsona, but we're hoping to kind of actually use the multi-step report, Andrew, and actually have so that's one option to do it, and just have basically one full report that's a multi-step, or using the conditional that Rob mentioned and kind of doing like a more complex formula field within Salesforce to almost like stamp, donor advised fund, general donor advised fund pledge payment, general gift with benefits. And I mean, the list could go on, but then once you have that, kind of that one field that's stamping that, or the multi-step report, you could kind of use that and just have 10 different documents, but somebody's just having to press like go once and not 11 times or however many reports you have.
So did that answer your question, Andrew? Did we get you? Yes? Okay. And then Lisa would like to ask, I think he's the thumbs up. So Lisa, go ahead and ask your question.
Sure. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, cool. We're very new to Apsona and Salesforce, and I was wondering if you could go back to the step where you set up the acknowledgement status to update in Salesforce, if I understood what you did correctly.
So this is the report. So if we did, go back. So it's that mail merge, and then I'm just gonna run an existing because we already have it, and just editing this action before. Since I already actually had it up there, like since I already added the log, and we'll get into that, just calling out that we can skip that if we needed to just test the mail merge. And then it's next, and then we click next one more time. Actually, I think it's the 4th screen, yes. So it's kind of right before you click save and run. And it's that kind of second option. So you do have to kind of bump it out, and then it's right here.
That's perfect. Thank you so much. I knew there had to be a way to do it, but my coworker who does most of this said, nope, there's no way. And I was like, that doesn't seem to make sense, but thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Well,
yeah.
and I'm just gonna add here, Lisa, on the left side of the screen, it says create a task. So if you have people that need to follow up, you can create tasks for them at the same time. So you can mark the opportunity the way you see, and you could create tasks for people so that they follow up with email or make a phone call, whatever it is that needs to happen.
Okay. There's all kinds of little goodies tucked away in there. Thank you.
So, great question.
All right. Any other questions that we can answer? Wow. Quiet crowd. All right. Well, I'm just going to make a plug then. Aaliyah, I think it's on the end of the deck, is it not, about office hours? Oh, do we have another question?
I don't think it's in this slide deck, but I could get it from the Trailblazer.
No, it's okay. That's okay.
Rob, Chad did
Chad-
make a really good point around, it's important to include the object ID field of the data source report. So I didn't actually know that that was kind of that reason of those populating. So at least in terms of kind of the account. But did I understand that correctly?
Chad. Let's see.
Yes.
Let me unmute it. Go ahead, Chad.
Oh, I was just gonna say, yep, you got it exactly right, Charlotte. Any object that you want to update in that logging options section, you just need to make sure the ID is in the report so that Epsona knows which record to update. That's all.
Awesome. Lisa, that might be your answer then, potentially. So I did want to also call that out. I meant to throughout the deck. But yes, office hours are fantastic. Chad's helped me out of benches multiple times. And actually with my merge, oh my gosh, my template. So I had added something extra to the table end. So you just need table end. So yes, office hours are fantastic. So thank you guys for having those.
Well, and seeing as how we're talking about office hours, I just want to quickly show folks how else to get assistance. Give me 1 second here while I get my share screen. Okay, so if you go to our website and you're looking for information, you can contact us, and we have this lovely form that is thinking about loading. We have lots of helpful resource links right here now so that you can get that. Or we have some frequently asked questions available with links. So please feel free to reach out to us. We also have really great support documentation. If you're a reader, this is a really great way to get some assistance and submit.
And Rob,
Okay,
does
Mhm.
the slide deck get sent out after?
Aaliyah? Brandy, you're welcome.
What was that?
She
Is
asked
there-
about the slide deck.
Yes, does the slide deck get sent out after?
Yeah, I'll include it in the follow-up email along with the recording. So
Okay, perfect. I added a couple other resources as well, Rob, to the end, like after the Q&A slide. So I hope that helps you guys too.
Okay, terrific. All right, well, if nobody else has questions, did I miss any questions? I just want to be sure everybody got their questions answered. Looks like it. Oh, wait, I
yes.
see something else. Okay, all right. All right then. Thank you very much, and I hope you all have a very wonderful day, and we appreciate you attending.